Welcome back. You're watching Newslink. Now, for years, black people have been cornered and sidelined when it comes to the property sector. It's for this reason that a newly formed Unified Civil Society Forum was established. The Property Industry Transformation Council Holdings, or PITCH for short, seeks to address and correct some of these concerns. The founder of the forum, Leslie Sitatu, joins me now live to talk more about this. A very good morning to you, Leslie. And I mean, it's not the first time we engage on the sector and the issues around it. I mean, it's not just your organization that we're discussing. There are broader issues here that need to be ventilated. A big one is what's currently unfolding at the PPRA and the suspension of the chief executive. First, furnish us with the current state of affairs at the PPRA since that suspension before we get into the details of some of the issues faced in the industry.
Sure, thank you, and it's good to be back. There has been some developments when it comes to since the suspension of the CEO, and the one particular development is what I uncovered by accident, so to speak. Then I got to find out, and it's a big thing, I got to find out that the Public Service Commission that basically came up with a report that was used to place the CEO on suspension. I found that they do not have jurisdiction over that body.
Yes, you indicated that it was put together illegally.
Yes.
Maybe just explain what you mean when you say they don't have jurisdiction to be creating the report, which, by the way, indicates that there was malfeasance on the part of the CEO, just to give our viewers that context.
Yeah, sure. That's concerning because, I mean, when I made the call, I mean, I had gone as a practitioner to the PPRA, and because I'm very vocal and I'm out there in support of the suspended CEO, you know, and not because she is Mamudu Muhlala as a person, but because of the transformation agenda that she'd been driving. And we still believe that she's the right person. So when I felt discriminated against and victimized, I then made a call. While I was in my car stopped, I made a call to the Public Service Commission, and to my shock, I told them that I wanted to lay a complaint. And to my shock, I was told that, no, look, we don't, we cannot help you. I said, what do you mean? Because it's in the public domain that you, as PSC, you did a report, and that's what saw the suspension of the CEO. And the gentleman, you know, I won't mention names, but unfortunately retracted later. But he said, you know, political pressure. That's what he said. And I wouldn't come here on national TV and lie. And he sent me the way they operate, their rules and regulations, and said we don't even have an MOU between the PPRA and the Public Service Commission. But
that's interesting, because the PSC is a body that was established to monitor the administration of public service organizations like the PPRA. So I'm finding it very difficult to understand why there would be issues in that regard.
Yeah, over government departments, but not such as over such structures as the PPRA and the regulatory bodies, only over government departments. But we are going to court on that. You know, you've also seen in the media as well, the media reports. Okay, look, there's issues which I don't want to get into details in terms of the pension adjudicator. We are going to be writing to the PPRA to get the minutes of the board meeting and to see what's really transpired. But you know, we have consulted with the suspended as CEO, and we find that, you know, that whole thing, the way it's been communicated to the media and put out there, is not what really is. But we're going to lay our hands on the proof and everything, and make our deliberations and everything. But from what she said, from her side of the story, I personally even asked her, why does she not sue? Because it's basically they're going out there and tarnishing her image, which is not fair. But then let's go to now the board. The chairperson of the board, in last week sometime, the General Bantu Holomisa tweeted a letter that he wrote to the president and asking the president and the minister to say, your chairperson has got 2 IDs. And I'm surprised that, you know, nobody's saying much about that. But everyone is howling and screaming about, you know, the pension adjudicators report, blah, blah. In which case, I mean, you know, Mamodupi was found to be wanting on issues of recruitment, you know, and she never even sat on the panel. So, but I don't want to go into details. But if I mean, I think the ANC is talking about step-aside rule and blah, blah, but if somebody has got a cloud hanging over their heads, I think they need to step aside as well.
Yes.
Because,
Are you speaking here about the chairman?
The chairman.
Okay. It's a very broad topic, and I don't want our viewers to get lost in all of the details,
sure.
So I want us to keep it pretty focused. And let's focus on the PPRA in the meantime, because this is a body that's very important for the
sure.
industry, for transformation, for entrance of black people in it. A lot of estate agents over the past 2 weeks or so are saying that there's a lot of dysfunction within the body, and it's really causing chaos in the market. Are these the views that you've shared, in that the PPRA may have lost the plot in terms of its core mandate to the sector?
Yes, that's true. And the chair becomes relevant because he's the person
yes.
that really said, look, CEO, there's issues, there's findings against you, so we need to put you on precautionary suspension. So the same, I mean, he has to get us into his confidence and just do the right thing and step aside. But there's critical things that are on hold at the moment. That will be the PDI resolution,
yes,
which is very critical. And I said the last time I was here, I'm a direct beneficiary of the program, and I've been engaging with the acting CEO as well, and the question I asked, even when we went and marched to the PPRA, I said, look, the PDI resolution was in place, and they said, okay, the provision was made, the current act does not make provision for the PDI resolution. I said, the Act 112 of 1976 couldn't have made provision for transformation. It was even pre-94. So it was a board resolution to try and expedite the re-entry of black people into
yes.
the sector, and it's been removed, which is very, very sad. That's number one. Number two.
What was the reasoning that was indicated in terms of its removal?
That the current act does not make provision for it, as if the previous act did.
Yes, of course.
Which really defies logic. Mm-hmm. How could a 1976 act make provision for black people to be empowered? You know, so it was in effect, it was actually a board resolution, the previous board, together with the executive, to say this is what we ought to do to accelerate transformation.
Yes. Are you then engaging the acting CEO on these issues and the implementation of these resolution and amendments that are so critical, as you've mentioned?
I have, and it's only about the day before yesterday. It was even late when I received a response from her via email, and it was also after the march. And that was one of my complaints, to say, you send emails, and practitioners are out there. They'll tell you, you send an email, you not even an acknowledgement. That's been the problem. You make a call, if you get somebody, they don't know, they don't have the information. So they, you know, in terms of admin, it's been chaotic. So I had sent an email about a week or so ago. Only about 2 days ago she responded, but I'm not happy and satisfied with her reasons. Then I said to her, we will be writing to the board on these issues. So it was when we were busy with all these things that now these other things surfaced.
Yes.
So which kind of like changes are not more like strategy. We just need to adapt
yes.
Our strategy, because then, I mean, if you look into the issues of the IDs, the company secretary as well is found wanting, because I mean he ought to do the checks. So he needs to answer to all these things.
How it was let to
Exactly.
slip by. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe one of the big issues when it comes to this here is South Africa's culture of appointing acting executives? Because I think at the PPRA now there are 2 acting executives, and one would think that this is probably what causes a lot of the uncertainty within the sector, and a lot of the inability to move forward and create opportunities for black practitioners and initiate that all-important transformation.
Yeah, it is just so unfortunate that, and that's how we designed our constitution.
Yes.
That the politics are, at the center of all the problems that we have.
Yes.
People are no longer objective, they are no longer principled. It's all about which faction one belongs to. I mean, you'll find that, within the same entity, there's people with diverse beliefs, and they find it difficult to work one with another. So transformation is just like when they say when 2 cows, when 2 bulls fight, is the grass that suffers. You've got an internship program that's also on hold, that was supposed to have begun somewhere in May, and it was moved to June, and we're sitting in July. It hasn't started. It will have seen about 2,000 young people come into the property sector and employed. And the transformation fund is supposed to be in place. We haven't even seen anything published on it, and all the critical things that talk to transformation have come to a standstill.
Yes, now unfortunately, it's only because we've run out of time that I've had to stop you, but thank you very much. You've mentioned the lack of implementation of resolutions, programs that have been put on hold, as well as a suspension being a hindrance on the development of the sector. Let's hope we can get organizations like the PPRA in to talk to us about these issues and a way forward. In the meantime, we thank you. That's the Pitch founder, Leslie Sitatu, who joins us there, just to give us an update on what's happening within the industry and the bodies that are supposed to regulate it and, of course, transform it.